Hello, hi to all my learners who are busy learning Hindi now for your Hindi board exam. This will be my last video for your preparation, which might help out for your preparation. And this video is going to be on Kavi and Lekhak parichay about the on the chapters and poems that are going to come out for your term 1 exam. Okay. So here I will be first explaining the Kavi and Lekhak parichay, okay, and then we will move on to the MCQ questions based on them. Okay, so first in Kavi and Lekhak parichay we have Kavi Kabir. So which poem did he write? Of course, you know that it's Kabir ki Sakhi, right? So first I'll explain about Kabir Das and then we'll move on to the next poet or writer. So I'll complete all the explanations and then we'll go to MCQ. Okay. So let's start with Kabir ki Sakhi. Kabir Das. कबीर का जन्म 1398 में काशी में हुआ माना जाता है. गुरु रामानंद के शिष्य कबीर ने 120 वर्ष की आयु पाई. Means he was born in the year 1398 in Kashi and he was a shishya or you can say a student of Guru Ramanand and he lived up to the age of 120 years. Okay, वर्ष की आयु पाई. आयु मतलब एज. जीवन के अंतिम कुछ वर्ष मगहर में बिताए और वहीं चिर निद्रा में लीन हो गए. एंड एट द लास्ट टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ हिज लाइफ he spent his time in the place called Magahar and that is where he passed away. Okay, chir nidra means sleeping forever, that means death. Okay, so the things that you have to remember, you have to focus on in this Lekhak and Kavi parichay is their birth and birthplace, birth date and birthplace, and death date and death place, and what is the language they have used. Okay, and on what is these people focus, or they are specially writer of story or poems. All these things are things which you have to remember. Okay, and if they have published something in volumes and how many volumes, like you can see in some of the Kavi and Lekhak parichay 7 khand the, 8 khand the. Khand means volumes, so those also numbers you have to remember. ओके, कबीर का आविर्भाव ऐसे समय में हुआ था जब राजनीतिक, धार्मिक और सामाजिक क्रांतियां अपने चरम पर थी. आविर्भाव मीन्स एज अ राइटर. Okay, he grew up, he came into the field of writing at the time when rajanitik, political, dharmik, religious and samajik, social krantiyan apne charam par thi. Krantiyan means Kranti means revolution. So there was a revolution of political, religious and social in social fields. That is when he as a writer he was growing. Kabir क्रांतदर्शी कविता, and he was a revolutionary writer. क्रांतदर्शी, उनकी कविता में गहरी सामाजिक चेतना प्रकट होती है. In his writings, in his poems, you get to see सामाजिक चेतना means social awareness. Okay, problems that you see in your society, all these awareness you can see in his poem. उनकी कविता सहज ही मर्म को छू लेती है. Means it just touches your heart. एक और धर्म के बाह्याडंबरों पर उन्होंने गहरी और तीखी चोट की है, तो दूसरी ओर आत्मा परमात्मा के विरह मिलन के भावपूर्ण गीत गाए हैं. So in his poems, you on one side you get to see what all in the name of religion, what all exploitation are taking place, he has pointed out. On the other side you can see atma paramatma means we, that is soul, and the meeting of God, paramatma. Okay, that is also pointed out in his poem. कबीर शास्त्रीय ज्ञान की अपेक्षा अनुभव ज्ञान को अधिक महत्व देते थे. Kabir Das was a person who didn't give much importance to these knowledge of science and all. Okay, he gave more importance to अनुभवी ज्ञान, experience. उनका विश्वास सत्संग में था और वे मानते थे कि ईश्वर एक है, वह निर्विकार है, अरूप है. So सत्संग means he believed that everyone has only one God. Okay, we have different religions but we believe in one single power, one God. Okay, so that was his belief. कबीर की भाषा पूर्वी जनपद की भाषा थी. His script Okay, the language that used in his writings were of old script. ओके उन्होंने जन चेतना और जन भावनाओं को अपने शब्द और साखियों के माध्यम से जन जन तक पहुंचाया है. सो ही हैज़ एक्चुअली पॉइंटेड आउट द इमोशंस एंड द difficulties of society. He has pointed out them through his sakhi or his poem. So that was about Kabir Das. We are done with Kabir Das. Now next is Meera. So which poem did Meerabai write? You must be knowing it very well, right? मीरा के पद. या मीराबाई का जन्म जोधपुर के चोकड़ी गांव में 1503 में हुआ माना जाता है. सो चोकड़ी गांव, शी वॉज बॉर्न इन दैट प्लेस, चोकड़ी विलेज, इन द ईयर 1503. 13 वर्ष की उम्र में मेवाड़ के महाराणा सांगा के कुंवर भोजराज से उनका विवाह हुआ था. एट द एज ऑफ 13 शी वॉज मैरिड टू a raja, a king, okay? Mewad is a place where this raja belongs, and Kunwar Bhojraj was the name of the person, and with whom she was married. See, this has been seen as MCQ at different places, that to whom, which king was she married, okay? उनका जीवन दुखों की छाया में ही बीता. Her full entire life was full of depression and sadness. बाल्यावस्था में ही माँ का देहांत हो गया. बाल्यावस्था, इन हर चाइल्डहुड इटसेल्फ हर मदर पास्ड अवे. विवाह के कुछ ही साल बाद पहले पति, फिर पिता, और एक युद्ध के दौरान ससुर का भी देहांत हो गया. सो just after her marriage, just few maybe months, I don't know, just few times away from her marriage actually, she lost her husband first, then her father, and then sasur means her father-in-law. युद्ध के दौरान, during a war, she lost her father-in-law also. So just imagine, no mother, father, husband, father-in-law, nobody. भौतिक जीवन से निराश मीरा ने घर परिवार त्याग दिया और वृंदावन में डेरा डाल पूरी तरह गिरधर गोपाल कृष्ण के प्रति समर्पित हो गई. सो भौतिक जीवन, वर्ल्डली लाइफ, इन वर्ल्डली लाइफ शी वॉज वेरी निराश, वेरी सैड. सो शी जस्ट लेफ्ट दिस वर्ल्डली लाइफ. शी वेंट टू सम Vrindavan, some garden or jungle you can say, and she started doing in the name of God, in the name of Shri Krishna. She just samarpit kar diya. She just sacrificed herself, or she just gave herself, surrendered herself to Shri Krishna, and she started spending her life, okay, away from worldly life. मध्यकालीन भक्ति आंदोलन की आध्यात्मिक प्रेरणा ने जिन कवियों को जन्म दिया, उनमें मीराबाई का विशिष्ट स्थान है. सो ड्यूरिंग मध्यकालीन, दैट इज ड्यूरिंग मिडीवियल पीरियड, मेनी पोएट्स वर बॉर्न, okay, due to their difficulties and all. That is how most of the poets, they start writing when they face some difficulty. So that is the period when she also started writing. इनके पद पूरे उत्तर भारत सहित गुजरात, बिहार, बंगाल तक प्रचलित है. सो इन द एंटायर इंडिया हर राइटिंग्स आर वेरी फेमस, इंक्लूडिंग गुजरात, बिहार एंड बंगाल. मीरा हिंदी और गुजराती दोनों के कवयित्री. सो दिस ऑल्सो कैन बी आस्क्ड एज अ MCQ question, that in which languages was she famous, in writing. It was Gujarat and Hindi. Sant Raidas ki shishya. See whose shishya they are. This can also be asked as an MCQ. So she was an shishya of Sant Raidas. की कुल 7-8 कृतियाँ की ही उपलब्ध है. There is only 7 to 8 writings of her which is available. मीरा की भक्ति दैन्य और माधुर्य भाव की है. So her bhakti, her faith is very simple and very sweet. इन पर योगियों, संतों और वैष्णव भक्तों का सम्मिलित प्रभाव पड़ा है. So in her faith there has been an effect of saint and rishi kind of people, all those religious scholars. So all their effect can be seen in her life. मीरा के पदों की भाषा में, the language she uses, राजस्थानी, ब्रज, गुजराती, पंजाबी, खड़ी बोली, पूर्वी के प्रयोग मिले. So all these languages mixture you can see in her writings. Okay, so we are done with Meera ke Pad, Meerabai also. Next is a writer, Premchand. So what did Premchand write? You know very well, right? He wrote बड़े भाई साहब. 31 जुलाई 1880 को बनारस के करीब लम्ही गांव में जन्मे धनपत राय ने उर्दू में नवाब राय और हिंदी में प्रेमचंद नाम से लेखन कार्य किया. सो ही वॉज बॉर्न इन द ईयर 1880, 31 जुलाई, इन बनारस, close to Banaras, in Lamhi village. Okay, Lamhi गांव में. And in Urdu he was known with the name Dhanpat Rai. in Hindi with the name Premchand. निजी व्यवहार और पत्राचार धनपत राय नाम से ही करते रहे. So whatever, for निजी व्यवहार means for earning, earning for the purpose of his life. Whatever he did, okay, whatever job he did with this name. Which name? धनपत राय and not प्रेमचंद. उर्दू में प्रकाशित पहला कहानी संग्रह सोज़े वतन अंग्रेज सरकार ने जब्त कर लिया. So first he wrote in Urdu. Its name was सोज़े वतन, which was but banned from being published by the Britishers. आजीविका के लिए स्कूल मास्टरी, इंस्पेक्टरी, मैनेजरी करने के अलावा इन्होंने हंस, माधुरी जैसे प्रमुख पत्रिकाओं का संपादन भी किया. सो फॉर अर्निंग अ लिविंग ही बिकेम अ मास्टर, इंस्पेक्टर, मैनेजर. Apart from that, he has been a sampadan, means an editor. He has worked as an editor for the maybe magazine or newspapers. I think newspapers which were named Hans and Madhuri. These are names of newspapers. कुछ समय मुंबई की फिल्म नगरी में भी बिताया, लेकिन वह उन्हें रास नहीं आई. For some time he was writing in Mumbai film industry also, but it was not for his, it was not good for him. He couldn't be better in that. यद्यपि उनकी कई कृतियों पर यादगार फिल्में बनी, but on some of his writings, many famous movies have been shot. We are continuing with Premchand. आम आदमी के दुख दर्द के बेजोड़ चितेरे. प्रेमचंद को उनके जीवन काल में ही कथा सम्राट, उपन्यास सम्राट कहा जाने लगा था. सो ही वॉज अ बेजोड़ चितेरे, मीन्स यू कैन नॉट कंपेयर हिज पिक्चराइजेशन विथ एनी वन, द वे ही राइट्स. Okay, and that is when he was also known as Katha Samrat. Samrat means king. King in stories, Upanyas Samrat. Upanyas, novels. King of novels was the titles that were given to him. उन्होंने हिंदी कथा लेखन की परिपाटी पूरी तरह बदल डाली. The way, the style of writing in Hindi was totally changed when he started writing. ओके अपनी रचनाओं में उन्होंने उन लोगों को प्रमुख पात्र बनाकर साहित्य में जगह दी जिन्हें जीवन और जगत में केवल प्रताड़ना और लांछन ही मिले थे. सो हिज मेन कैरेक्टर इन ऑल हिज राइटिंग्स वर दोज who had to face a lot of pratarna and lanchan, means a lot of ignorance and depressions, the people who had to face all these things, they were the mukhya patra, the main characters in his writing. 8 अक्टूबर 1936 में उनका देहावसान हुआ. ही पास्ट अवे. प्रेमचंद ने जितनी भी कहानियाँ लिखी वे सब मानसरोवर शीर्षक से 8 खंडों में संकलित है. दिस कैन बी आस्क्ड. सो वट एवर ही रोट वॉज पुट इन टू 8 वॉल्यूम्स नेम्ड मानसरोवर शीर्षक. शीर्षक मीन्स टाइटल. उनके प्रमुख उपन्यास हैं, फेमस नॉवेल्स, गोदान गबन, प्रेमाश्रम, सेवा सदन, निर्मला, कर्मभूमि, रंगभूमि, कायाकल्प, प्रतिज्ञा और मंगलसूत्र. You cannot remember all these names, of course. Just read and just keep in mind that if these some of the words come, you have to remember. This is written by our who was the person? Premchand. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to next one. Leela Dharmand. So what did he write? Yes, he wrote Tantara वामेरो कथा. 1954 की जन्माष्टमी के दिन छिंदवाड़ा ज़िले के एक छोटे से गांव गुड़ी में जन्मे लीलाधर मंडलोई की शिक्षा दीक्षा भोपाल और रायपुर में हुई. He was born in 1954 on the day of Janmashtami. It's a celebration in Chhindwara Zilla district, a small village, but his education was completed in Bhopal and Raipur. प्रसारण की उच्च शिक्षा के लिए 1987 में कॉमनवेल्थ रिलेशंस ट्रस्ट लंदन की ओर से आमंत्रित किए गए. सो प्रसारण मीन्स पब्लिसिटी. ओके, लाइक मीडिया एंड ऑल, यू डू समथिंग फॉर पब्लिसिटी. Okay, like promotions and all these kind of things. So for these, for higher studies in prasaran and all, he was actually invited to Commonwealth Relations Trust in 1987, which is in London. इन दिनों प्रसार भारती दूरदर्शन के महानिदेशक का कार्यभार संभाल थे. सो ही वॉज वर्किंग इन अ फील्ड ऑफ मीडिया और प्रमोटिंग समथिंग और publicity field. He was working there in Doordarshan at that time as Mahanideshak, means Director General. Okay, for spreading all the news and all, maybe he was working. Leeladhar Mandloi मूलतः कवि हैं. He is mainly a kavi, a poet. Now you have a story here, Tantara Vamero Katha, but he is actually famous in writing poems. उनकी कविताओं में छत्तीसगढ़ अंचल की बोली की मिठास और वहाँ के जनजीवन का सजीव चित्रण है. In his writing, you can see Chhattisgarh Anchal is a place. The sweetness of their language is seen in his writing. अंडमान निकोबार द्वीप समूह की जनजातियों पर लिखा इनका गद्य अपने आप में एक समाजशास्त्रीय अध्ययन भी है. So this is actually depending on Samaj Shastriya, means what is happening in the society. This is also shown through his story. We know, right? In Tara Amiro Katha, he has pointed out how traditions are blindly followed by people and then what happens. Yeah? So he points out these things. उनका कवि मन ही वह स्रोत है जो उन्हें लोककथा, लोकगीत, यात्रा वृत्तांत, डायरी, मीडिया रिपोर्टार्स और आलोचना लेखन की ओर प्रवृत्त करता है. सो ही हैज़ बीन राइटिंग मेनी स्टोरीज, डायरी राइटिंग, मीडिया, ऑल दिस एक्चुअली द स्रोत और द सोर्स फ्रॉम वेयर ही गेट दीज इज फ्रॉम बीइंग अ पोएट. ही इज़ मेनली अ पोएट. ओके. अपने रचना कर्म के लिए कई पुरस्कारों से सम्मानित. ही हैज़ बीन अवॉर्डेड विथ मेनी थिंग्स, many prizes for his writing. प्रमुख कृतियाँ हैं, his famous writings are घर घर घूमा, रात बेरात, मगर एक आवाज़, देखा अनदेखा और काला पानी. Famous writings. Now we have last one more chapter left. अब कहाँ दूसरों के दुख से दुखी होने वाले, written by निदा फाजली. 12 अक्टूबर 1938 को दिल्ली में जन्मे निदा फाजली का बचपन ग्वालियर में बीता. So he was born in 12 October 1938 in Delhi and his childhood was spent in Gwalior. Okay? निदा फाजली उर्दू की 60वीं पीढ़ी के महत्वपूर्ण कवि माने जाते हैं. Okay, that is just a time period when he was famous, not very important. आम बोलचाल की भाषा में और सरलता से किसी के भी दिलो दिमाग में घर कर सके ऐसी कविता करने में इन्हें महारत हासिल. सो यू नो ही राइट्स इन अ वेरी सिंपल मैनर. ओके, एनीबडी कैन अंडरस्टैंड. एंड ऑल्सो his language is so simple that in anybody's mind very quickly, you know, whatever he's writing can get into your mind. वही निदा फाजली अपनी गद्य रचनाओं में शेर व शायरी पिरोकर बहुत कुछ को थोड़े में कह देने के मामले में अपने किस्म के अकेले ही गद्यकार है. Whatever he writes, he puts some शेर व शायरी, means poetic lines. In this chapter also you must have seen in between there are two lines, right? He tries to say a lot of things through those two lines. Okay, so that is what they have said. निदा फाजली की लफ्ज़ों का पुल नामक कविता की पहली पुस्तक आई. लफ्ज़ों का पुल is his first book which he published. शायरी की किताब खोया हुआ सा कुछ के लिए 1999 में साहित्य अकादमी पुरस्कार से सम्मानित निदा फाजली की आत्मकथा का पहला भाग दीवारों के बीच. So for शायरी, for poems also he has been awarded in 99 Academy Puraskar Award. And his Atmakatha, his autobiography has also been published in two parts. First one's name is दीवारों के बीच and the second one's name is दीवारों के पार. फिल्म उद्योग से संबंध रहे निदा फाजली का निधन 8 फरवरी 2016 को हुआ. So he had a relation with the movie Udyog. There was a named movie Udyog with which his relation he had. That means he must have written something for that. He passed away at 8 February 2016. यहाँ तमाशा मेरे आगे किताब में संकलित एक अंश प्रस्तुत है. Okay, so in this movie actually his book तमाशा मेरे आगे, okay, from that the story has been taken to make the movie. A part of that book has been taken. So that is what we are done with Nida Fazli also. Now we'll move on to the MCQ practice. Okay, so let's begin. मीराबाई की भाषा शैली पर प्रकाश डालिए. Which language she used? I mean, what kind of language, not which language. Sorry. सरल, सहज, आम बोलचाल की भाषा सभी. Means very simple, very common, the common language that people speak. In that way she has written uparukt sabhi, means all of the above, and the correct answer is all of the above. मीरा के पद किस भाव को प्रकट करते हैं? सौंदर्य भाव को, रास लीला को, दासी को, कृष्ण भक्ति भाव को, भक्ति भाव को. Of course you know the poem. The correct answer is option C, कृष्ण भक्ति भाव को. Yeah, that is what the poem of Meerabai depends on. मीरा के काव्य की कितनी कृतियाँ उपलब्ध है? So how many volumes are available of Meera's काव्य? 7, 8, 7, 10, 4, 5, कोई नहीं. It is 7, 8. Okay. So we are done with Meerabai, I think. Yeah, now Kabir Das. कबीर की साखियों में किन भाषाओं का स्पष्ट प्रभाव दिखाई देता है? अवधी, राजस्थानी, भोजपुरी, पंजाबी, सभी. Yes, it's option D, सभी. प्रेम जी, प्रेमचंद प्रमुख रूप से क्या थे? कथाकार, लेखक, गायक, कहानीकार. He was option D, कहानीकार. Premchand was mainly a कहानीकार. Option D. Okay? प्रेम जी का प्रसिद्ध कहानी संग्रह मानसरोवर कितने भागों में संकलित है? His famous writing Manasarovar is of how many parts or volumes? 7, 6, 5, 8. The correct answer is option D, 8. तंतारा वामेरो कथा के लेखक कौन हैं? श्री लीलाधर मंडलोई, प्रेमचंद, प्रहलाद अग्रवाल, कोई नहीं. Because you know the answer. Definitely it's श्री लीलाधर मंडलोई, ऑप्शन ए. मंडलोई जी ने कौन सी शैली प्रयोग की है? What kind of style did he write? व्यवहारात्मक, उपमायुक्त, वर्णात्मक और संवेदात्मक, कोई नहीं. It is वर्णात्मक, option C, वर्णात्मक and संवेदात्मक. वर्णात्मक means very elaborately explained. Okay, and samvedatmak means very wonderfully, very beautifully explained. Okay, so it's option C. लीलाधर मंडलोई किस प्रकार का लेखन लिखते हैं? लेख, कहानी, कविता, गीत. What kind of writing did he write? It is actually option C, कविता. Okay, it's option C, कविता. निदा फाजली का जन्म कहाँ हुआ? Do you remember? Where was he born? Yes, he was born in option B, Delhi. Delhi में Nida Fazli was born in Delhi. Okay, so I think we are done with the MCQs also. More can come. As I said, I have not put simple questions on them. You can focus. I am repeating what all you have to focus. The birth date and place, death date and place, famous writing, and in how many parts did they write? Okay, and then what can be asked? The languages that I used. Okay, and their style of writing can be asked, and whose shishya they are. Okay, whose student they have been, you know, as a learner. Who from whom did they learn? Whose shishya they were. And like in Meerabai's case, to whom, which king was she married, can be asked. So I think I have covered all the topics and told you what you have to focus on. Now all the best, okay, to all the learners of this year. Okay, I'm so happy I could help you. Now one more term left. I have already uploaded all the chapters. They are not MCQ, so no MCQs being uploaded on those chapters, but explanation and question answers have been already uploaded. So if you are new to my channel, I'm making you aware that everything has been uploaded. Take help from them and keep supporting, keep sharing just like you do, and keep writing beautiful comments just like you do. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.